Okay, here's video 3 of a never-ending series of videos. Infinite amount of videos to frame up this wall. So now what I've done is I stretched my chalk box. Never remember these things. Chalk box. I stretched it from the mark that I made down there with a plumb bob, plumbed up from my line, if you can see that red line, which is parallel to that wall over there. The pipe is still leaking, so that line is parallel to that wall over there, right there. And so what I did was I took the plumb bob and I plumbed up instead of plumbing down, doing everything in reverse. So I plumbed up from that line. So what I did was I just held the plumb bob up there on one of these joists and waited and got it so it set right over top that line down there. I did the same thing way down there onto this joist, and then I took the chalk box and I strung it from that joist all the way down. So now on each one of these joists I have the chalk line, or the straight line there. See it there, it's on that one, it's on all of them. And so that is a perfect transfer of the red line down there all the way up to a line on these joists here. So another tool that I've found, and a lot of woodworkers I guess use this, is a Klein tool. I think it's meant for plumbing and making sure you have the right pitch on pipes for drainage and things like that. But a lot of woodworkers use this for setting the angle on their blades, their table saw blades, because this is magnetic, so it'll hook right to the blade and they can very easily find the degree, what their cut is. So what I have done is I've found a way to use it to again sort of work backwards to find the pitch of all these joists here, which I've found to be about 8 degrees. So you just put it on the bottom side of your joist there, 8 degrees. The one down there should be 8 degrees. They're all about 8. So I've got that pressed up against the bottom of the joist. That tells me this is 8 degrees off of 90 or 0. It'll go to 0 and it's perfectly 90 here. So I take that 8 degrees, and what I want to do is get my top plate using a 2x4. If I just use a 2x4 up there, you can see that it would just make a perfect 90 degree, but I want this thing to sit down like the plumb bob string did, just perfectly straight down. So I have to rip each one of the top plates, the edge to 8, the 8 degrees, about 8 degrees there. So take this tool and come over to where I have the table saw set up. Put it on there, and I make sure this is about 8 degrees. I already had it preset because I've been ripping a lot of those boards. Ripped it for the other side, which is also 8 degrees, or should also be 8 degrees. So and I think I did like a custom one, so it's not exactly 8. I think I tried to set it to like 7.8. So about 8 there. So this is a really good tool to have when you're working backwards, and you don't want to use an angle finder. Is this thing I found is a lot more accurate to find 90 than what is it? It's sort of like a combination square, which I've used this thing too before, but I won't suggest to use it in this situation. Anyway, so that's how you get the top plate. So now what I'm going to do is take a bunch of 2x4s, run them through the table saw, get that 8 degrees, and then use each one of those blue lines as where I lined that 2x4 up. So in a few minutes we'll have a double 2x4 top plate. So yeah, again, hopefully this video helped. The pipe is still leaking. Check back in video 20, it'll still be leaking.